Hello and welcome. In the new series of Parcham IAS. Today we will discuss about auroras Borealis and Aurora Australis. Okay, uh, Aurora Borealis and Aurora Australis. What is aurora? First of all, what is aurora? Frequently there are beautiful lights show in the sky. These lights are called auroras. Okay, and if you're near the north pole, suppose if you stay near the north pole, it is called an aurora borealis. Okay, and northern light. Then if you are near the south pole, it is called an aurora australis or the southern light. So aurora australis, also known as southern light and southern polar lights, okay, is the southern hemisphere counterpart of the aurora borealis. In the sky, an aurora australis takes the shape of a uh, certain of light or a sheet or a diffuse glow. It most often is green, sometimes red, and occasionally other colors too. Like its northern sibling, the aurora australis is strongest in an oval centered on the south magnetic pole. This is because they are result of collision between energetic electrons, okay, something also proton, an atom and molecule in the upper atmosphere. And the electrons get their high energies by being accelerated by solar wind magnetic field and the earth's magnetic field. The motion of complicated, but essentially the electron spiral around the earth magnetic field line, okay, and touch down near to where those lines become vertical. So by far the best place to see aurora in the southern hemisphere is Antarctica, and at tonight, okay, night too. When the solar cycle is near its maximum, aurora australis are sometimes visible in New Zealand, okay, especially the South Island, Southern Australia, especially Tasmania, and southern Chile and Argentina, sometimes in South Africa too. About the color, the physics is similar to what make a flame orange yellow when salt is added to it. That is specific atomic transition in sodium atoms. Green and red comes from atomic oxygen, nitrogen ions, and molecule make some pinkish red, okay, and blue violet, and so on. Typically 100 to 300 kilometer. 100 to 300 kilometer, this is where green is usually seen with red at the top, okay, and what sometimes as high as 500 kilometer and as low as 80 kilometer. This requires particularly energetic particles to penetrate so deep, okay. If you see purple, the aurora is likely to be this low. Well, as there are strong magnetic field plus not so strong, okay, and solar wind plus really deep atmosphere on Jupiter and Saturn, they have a spectacular aurora in rings around their magnetic poles, which are closer to their rotation poles than Earth's are. Aurora have also been imaged on Venus, okay, and Mars, Uranus, Neptune, and even to solar wind magnetic fields, sure, but very different than on planets. Some universe today stories on aurora. Aurora is Australis at its south pole, okay, and auroras reports from around the world. Northern and southern aurora are siblings, but no twins, okay, but not twins. These are siblings. Chandra looks at the Earth's auroras. First aurora seen on Mars and Saturn's dwelling auroras. Now, Aurora Borealis Northern Light and Aurora Australis Southern Light. I'll tell you first time कि Aurora is two types. Okay, if these light, ये जो ऑरोरा होता है कलरफुल ब्यूटीफुल लाइट जो हम लोग आसमान में देखते हैं उनको हम क्या बोलते हैं, ऑरोरा बोलते हैं. बट इट इज टू टाइप्स. फर्स्ट इज नॉर्दर्न पोल जिसको हम क्या बोलते हैं, ऑरोरा बोरेलिस भी बोलते हैं. एंड साउदर्न पोल पर अगर हम देखें तो उसको हम क्या बोलते हैं, Aurora Australis भी बोलते हैं. Then Aurora Borealis Northern Lights and Aurora Australis Southern Lights are a natural light display in the sky. Okay, predominantly seen in high latitude regions around the Arctic and Antarctic. These phenomena are caused by the interaction between the Earth's magnetic field and charged particles from the sun. The auroras appear as glowing certains of light, often green, okay, pink, red, yellow, and violet, and are most visible during clear dark nights. Then Aurora Borealis and Aurora Australis. Difference between Aurora Borealis and Aurora Australis. Aurora Borealis, also called the Northern Lights, and it occurs in the northern hemisphere near the Arctic region, and countries such as Norway, Sweden, Finland, Canada, Alaska are prime location to witness an Aurora Borealis. Aurora Australis, also called Southern Lights. It occurs in the southern hemisphere near the Antarctic region. The Aurora Australis is primarily visible from Antarctica, southern parts of New Zealand and Australia. Both phenomena are essentially the same in terms of their cause and behavior, with the only difference being their location. Okay, remember that both phenomena are essentially the same in terms of their causes and behavior, with the only difference being their location. Okay, the triggering of aurora. First point, solar wind. Solar wind. Aurora are triggered by the solar wind, a stream of charged particles, mainly electron and proton, emitted by the sun. These particles travel through space and can reach Earth when solar activity, such as solar flares or coronal mass ejections, CMEs, increases. Okay, and second one is interaction with Earth's magnetic field. When these charged particles reach Earth, they are guided by Earth's magnetic field and toward the polar region. Earth's magnetic field tunnels the particles towards the pole, and which is why auroras are more frequent near the Arctic and Antarctic circle. Third one is excitation of atmospheric particles, as the charged particles from the solar wind collide with the atoms and molecules. Okay, atoms and molecules in the Earth's atmosphere, mainly oxygen and nitrogen. Okay, they transfer energy to these particles. This process called excitation, where electrons in the atoms absorb energy and jump to a higher energy state. Sixth one is emission of light. When the excited atoms return to their normal state, they release the absorbed energy in the form of light. The color of the aurora depends on the type of gas evolved in the collision and the altitude at which the interaction occurs. Point number A. Oxygen at higher altitude, about 150 to 300 km, produces a green or red. Okay, remember this situation. If they release the absorbed energy in the form of light, okay, so the color of the aurora depend on the type of gas evolved in the collision and altitude at which of the interaction occur. If oxygen of higher altitude, about 150 to 300 kilometers, so produces a green or red light. Okay, and nitrogen at lower altitude, up 200 kilometer above, so produces blue or purplish. Okay, Now, 5 is geomagnetic storm. When there is a particularly strong solar storm and the influx of charged particles increases, leading to more intense auroras, visible even in lower latitudes. Okay, so here sun and solar wind coming to Earth's magnetosphere. Okay, then charged particle and upper atmosphere. Okay, so these guide particles where Earth's magnetic field, and then guide particles, then upper atmosphere, now collision with gases and then form of aurora. Okay, so warm Gulf region factors. Okay, if we see the Gulf region factors, so warm Gulf waters so provide moisture. Warm water प्रोवाइड करता है मॉइस्चर को. सो वार्म गल्फ वाटर्स प्रोवाइड मॉइस्चर एंड देन warm moist air rises. Okay, warm moist air rises and form of thunderstorm. Then cold Canadian air so create temperature contrast. Cool and dry air sink करेगी. Okay, then thunderstorm. Then mind shear, rotating updraft, and then tornado. Dry air force rockies so enhance instability, then thunderstorm, and then wind shear, then rotating updraft, and then tornado. But jet stream influences the wind pattern. Jet stream form influences wind pattern, then wind shear, and then rotating upward, and then tornado. Now, Aurora Borealis versus Aurora Australis. Feature Aurora Borealis or Aurora Australis. Now, location. Aurora Borealis location northern hemisphere, Alaska, Canada, Norway, Russia, and Aurora Australis southern hemisphere, Antarctica, Tasmania, New Zealand. And visibility more frequently observed due to population density, and Aurora Australis visibility is less observed due to sparse population. Okay, Aurora Borealis name origin Aurora, Roman goddess of dawn. Okay, plus Boreas, Greek for north wind. Okay, Australia name origin Latin for southern. And best viewing time of Aurora Borealis winter months in the northern hemisphere, and Aurora Australis best viewing time winter months in the southern hemisphere. Okay, and tourism industry, Aurora Borealis well established aurora tourism in countries like Norway, and tourism industry Aurora Australis is limited tourism due to remote viewing location. Okay, in India, they were observed through all sky cameras positioned around the Indian Astronomical Observatory IAO in Hanle, Ladakh. Okay, so auroras are bright and colorful light formed due to an active interaction in space between charged solar wind and the Earth magnetosphere. They occur when violet solar events eject charged particles into space, which become trapped in Earth's magnetic field and interact with atmospheric atoms, ultimately resulting in a geomagnetic storm and creation of aurora. The constantly changing inputs from the sun and the varying responses for the Earth's upper atmosphere and the motion of the planet or particle in near Earth space all work together to create different auroral motions and shapes. Now, composition of color. Auroras consist of gases and particles, including oxygen, nitrogen. Okay, I'll tell you something. Aurora consists of gases and particles, including oxygen, nitrogen. Okay, the collisions of these particles with the atmosphere release energy in the form of light, and the color observed in auroras depend on the gas and altitude of the collision and its impact. They can trigger blackouts on the Earth, knock out satellite in space, endanger and the life of astronauts. Okay, live of astronauts and affect space weather throughout the solar system. Okay, so now we meet in the next class. Thanks for watching, and If you want PDF of this topic, then you can join our Telegram channel. Telegram link is in the description box.